Come on in. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video here on the channel, and welcome to the late spring here in Scotland. And this is one of my favourite times of year. So we've got all the trees now busting with leaves, we've got the last of the blossoms still on some trees, and in the mornings the bird song is almost deafening. Now here's a little clip I took from about a week ago early in the morning of some of that bird song. Another reason that this is one of my favourite times of year is because the farm changes so much at this time of year. So all those calving cows that we were looking after at the other farm, they've all calved. They've went up away to the other farm to spend the summer on the hills here in Scotland. And then all the young stock that we were looking after, they're all out in the fields round about this farm, and we're going to be checking them in just a minute. And I don't have very much footage of the cattle going out, but I do have a little clip and I'm going to show you that now. And aside from the obvious, the cattle going out to grass, and in my opinion, they do absolutely love this time of year because the cattle go out, you can see how much fun they have, they can see that they love being out at grass. And we don't really keep cattle inside in Scotland because they couldn't handle the weather, so to speak. It's more the ground couldn't handle the cattle in winter, so if you put cattle onto the sort of ground we have here in Scotland in winter, the ground would poach, which means it churns up. And come springtime, the grass or the ground would be so churned up, the cows would be standing up to their bellies in mud, which wouldn't be good for them, and the grass would be irreparably damaged. I didn't say that right. But now at this point, the ground is more than dried up enough to handle the cattle, and the cattle love being outside. And it's good for me as well because we've just went through this extremely busy time, lambing and calving time, and even over the winter's quieter in some ways. We don't do as much herding, there's not as many big jobs, we do a lot of repair jobs, but we have to feed the cattle every day, and the sheep, and even on the weekends, so there's no days off. But right now it's a Saturday on the farm, and it'll probably only take us an hour to get round, check everything's okay today, and then head back home. So there's a lot less sort of going on in the aspect of now we can sort of get like a proper half decent bit of time off on the weekends, me and the dogs. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to head along here, we're going to check the furthest away field, which we have to go by road, and we'll go with Kate. Then we're going to pick Echo up, and Kate and Echo and me are going to go around the rest of the cattle, checking that everybody's okay, and we'll explain a bit more about the sheep later on in this video. last group of cattle we just seen, so they are what we refer to as bullocks. So what we would refer to bullocks here in the UK is what a lot of North America would refer to as sturks, so males who have had the two veg removed. And the next field that we're going into, you can see them lining up here, are what we call heifers, so young females. So we're going to see the young females next, and then another group of bullocks, and some sheep with them. And also, guys, remember, Kate the Great plushies are still on sale for a little while. Basically, we're selling up the last of the ones that were made and never bought, and once they're gone, they're gone. There will never be any more, so they're limited edition. So if you do want one, this is your last chance. So there'll be a link in the description, hit that link, and if you want one of the Kate the Great plushies, go and get yourself one, because there won't be any more. I did mention there was a slight difference with sheep this year. So normally we'd have about 100 or so of the sheep that have just lambed come down with single lambs, and they go away up at the top field on the other side of the hill there. This year that field's actually been taken out of rotation, and it's been reseeded to try and improve the grass over there. And to add to that, we've also got a lot more younger sheep this year, so there's almost about 180 gimmers this year. So these are young sheep which will go into breeding at the end of this year. So instead of bringing down a whole load of singles, we've just got the gimmers. Instead of putting them straight up onto the hill like we normally would, we've brought them across here to where some good grass is, and maybe in a month's time we'll split them, put half on the hill and put half on the other side of these parks here, and they can get moved around in the parks where the good grass, and shade it with the cattle. But we'll see what happens later in the year. But yeah, definitely a big change on the sheep that are down at this farm this year. Anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. That'll do it for today, and thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and comment.